This story is called I Look Just Like Spiderman. It's a story from It's a Rum Life in France. The story began in the spring of 2007. Ruth and I were living at Northcote in Lincolnshire, and Ruth had by now been retired for 5 or 6 years. I noticed a sticky mess below my right eye on my face. The sticky wet patch would not go away and became larger bit by bit. I went to see my GP, who at that time was one of 5 partners at my local surgery. This particular partner was normally blunt and to the point, no shilly-shallying around. He told me straight away that he was positive I had skin cancer and it needed dealing with immediately. He went on to explain that if I waited to be treated under the National Health System, I could be in trouble, as it would take too long. He asked if I would consider being treated privately, as under that system I could expect to have the tumour removed quickly. I talked to Ruth and we decided it had to be done privately. I was booked in to see a consultant plastic surgeon within a week and saw him at the private part of Boston's General Hospital, the Bostonian. He told me he could do the operation within 3 weeks or so at the private hospital at Leicester, and we agreed to that. The op went off well. It was only under local anaesthetic and I drove home. The taking out of stitches coincided with the narrowboat holiday on Osprey, and we called in at the Leicester Hospital on our way home from that holiday. The stitches are so fine, mind you, the nurse taking them out had to find a loop to see where they were. I was told to keep an eye on the surgery site and also look out for anything else that might appear. In about June next year, we made our move to live permanently in France after I managed to snap my Achilles tendon on our next holiday on narrowboat Osprey. That put paid to any work for about 6 months, and so I decided to retire from work. All went well for a couple of more years until the spring of 2011, when that darn tumour reappeared in exactly the same place. By now Ruth and I were well established within the French health system, and I called to see my local GP. He had a good look at the problem and at the notes I had from the previous episode. Here it's an important point that because I had paid for private treatment for the tumour operation, I had all the paperwork and the analysis, etc. Here in France it's automatic. Here it's just as if one is a private patient all the time. All the paperwork is given to you for everything. My GP said he did not think we had enough sunshine in the UK to inhibit skin cancer. Bit of a joke there. He referred to me to a skin consultant who I saw within the week. I was straight away referred to a surgeon at the local hospital who saw me within the next week. The surgeon had a good look at the paperwork from the first operation and said he thought they'd not taken away sufficient disease material to clear the area. "I'll fix that for you," he said, and promptly did in a week or so later. It was when I came home that the Spiderman episode happened. You see, this time I had to have a general anaesthetic, so I was not allowed to drive afterwards, and a hospital taxi was ordered for me to go home in. On the way home, we called in at the local pharmacy for dressings, etc., that my surgeon deemed necessary for the aftercare. On crossing the road to the pharmacy, I noticed the wife of our local garage owner, who had himself recently retired. The lady belongs to the same sewing club as Ruth, and I recognised the lady. I followed her into the pharmacy and stood behind her. After a few moments, I quietly leaned forward and asked her if she knew who could possibly be inside my disguise. She turned to face me and said without any hesitation, "Yes, I know who you are, Richard, and I think your wife has been hitting you on the head with a hammer. You could have knocked me down with a feather, and I do not think the laughter was too good for my stitches." Hello, we hope you enjoyed that short story from Cracker Books, written and read by Keith Sanders. If you like these stories that you're looking at, could you give us a like on this YouTube site, and then the YouTube people know that you like what we're doing. At the same time, if you were to subscribe as well, then they will let you know just as soon as we release something new. And there is something new every week, several times a week in fact. So thank you for watching that. The next little bit is our advertisement, which tells you that if you like looking at our publications, then you can look at them all free of charge by going to our website, which is www.crackerbooks.fr. Now that's very easy to remember, isn't it? www.crackerbooks.fr. It's our second website this year. The first web host let us down. This one's Jimdo. It's easy to use and we think it's good. So on that site you can find the links to all our publications, videos, audio stories and the 10 complete books. You can download them all free of charge, and we hope you have a look and enjoy the entertainment that's there for you to find. So there we are. Remember, www.crackerbooks.fr. Give us a like if you can, or even subscribe. And thank you for watching this time.